Hello everyone and welcome back to Bible Corner Reviews. Today's video is on the New American Standard Bible 2020 edition from the Lockman Foundation, and this is the Reference Bible in blue Leathertex. So here's your sleeve that the Bible comes in. It does come wrapped in a plastic case, but it does not have a box or anything. And then you do have some information on the back. This one is printed in China. And some of the features. So the imitation leather on this is very similar, very reminiscent of actual animal hide. So I have been saying for quite some time that the different publishers have been getting very good at making imitation leathers that are deceptive in their true leather impression. So this almost has a kind of a snakeskin pattern to it. Very nice. It does feel almost like actual leather. Very, very good. Your spine has 5 tooled line indications, kind of an irregular layout, but then you have Holy Bible, New American Standard Bible 2020, Reference Bible, NASB, and Lockman Foundation. There's a lot of information on here, but it is blind stamped, so it's not too distracting, and it actually looks very clean. The back has your ISBN, and again, typical of your imitation leather Bibles. Page gilding is silver. There's no art gilding. You have head and tail bands, which are blue, again to match the blue Bible. There's a lot of blue on this Bible. And then ribbons are 3/8 inch ribbons. You have black and blue double satin, and these are actually long enough, almost 2 inches, about 2 inches, that stick out past the corner of the page, so plenty long enough to use. The dimensions on this Bible are 8 3/8 inches tall by 5.5 inches wide by around 1 1/4 inches thick. So it does fall in line with the thin line and personal size Bible categories, which is one thing I really enjoy about this Bible. The retail price on this is $31.99. So you can definitely find it for a little bit cheaper at other sellers or sales. So very affordable for a very well-designed Bible. Opening this up, the interior is a synthetic, again, blue cardstock liner. It is paste down. The overall craftsmanship on this Bible is very consistent for being a mass-produced Bible. Give them a lot of credit for that. You do have reinforcement tape along the back of the cover there, so this will have extra structural integrity. There are no extra pieces of paper. It goes right into your presentation page. And then you have marriages, a couple family trees, something I really appreciate if you're going to have this information in here. Not all Bibles have the whole tree design, so that is cool. And you have births, deaths, and occasions to remember. This is kind of a semi-gloss paper. It's not complete gloss, but it's not matte. Opening page, New American Standard Bible, NASB. A bit redundant, but that's what it is. Here's your publication page, printed in Korea. Lockman Foundation. This one is the 2020 edition. Here's your foreword to the translation. If you're not familiar with the New American 2020, definitely read this. They give their information and philosophy behind the translation choices that they made. The table of contents for the Bible is a bit odd to me on this one. I'll just say it's not unique enough in my taste for a presentation or a table of contents page. It just looks sort of like the rest of the foreword, so it's hard to tell that this is where the contents page starts. So they could have made that a little bit more unique, but it is there and it has all the information. So Old Testament, and here's is the layout. The text size is a 9.5, very readable, very crisp and clean. Now, I am folding this over, but just for the people who freak out about that, I'm not actually greasing it. The layout is a 2-column paragraph format, justified text on the right, not justified on the left, and not justified on the right. The gutter is about 3/4 inch, half an inch. It's a very good space that pushes the text out to the center of the page. They designed that very well. This is obviously not a note-taking Bible. It is a general reference Bible. So there's not much room for writing in, but you're probably not going to be doing that. The textual footnotes are underneath each column, and they pertain to the column that they are under. So this one does not have any textual footnotes that are in reference to those verses, so there's nothing under that column. And these are not the full translator footnotes. They are just a condensed set, but they do have the pertinent ones for the translation. This Bible does have overcast stitching, which I find fascinating for the reason that it is printed in Korea. And I'm not sure if this is just a thing with Korean Bibles, printed Bibles, but the Thomas Nelson, I believe it was the NET large print thin line art edition, was also Korean, and it did have overcast stitching, even though it was not a premium Bible. And one of the Steadfast Bibles that I reviewed that wasn't a premium Bible that was printed in Korea also had overcast stitching. I'm not sure if that's just a Korean thing or if that is just with these particular editions that are from Korea, but this one does have overcast stitching and it is not a premium Bible, so I really enjoy seeing that. That is another thing that will just add structural integrity to the Bible. This one is in Genesis 6. Something to take note of, and if anyone knows the reason behind some Bibles being from Korea having overcast stitching, feel free to reach out and let me know, because I'd love to learn more about the reasons behind that. Cross references have bolded verse numbers to help locate the passages. There's no line separating the cross references from the text. In some cases, it can be slightly difficult to see where the textual footnotes are compared to the cross references because they do come close sometimes. So a line could be helpful in that regard, but most of the time it's not a distraction. The text has bold verse numbers to help differentiate verses between the paragraph formatting. The chapter verses are also bold, and then your subject headings, which are in the text, are bold as well. As is usually the case with paragraph formatted Bibles, the poetic settings are verse by verse. And as they did with the compact edition, they added pilcrows to single out the paragraph starts. And again, I have to say with this one, the pilcrows are awfully close to the verse numbers, which from a distance are a little bit hard to separate the two. It's not the biggest critique in the world, but it would have been nice to have them at least halfway between the verse and the verse number. Moving on to the New Testament, you'll see that it is black letter text. The other feature that is common with the New American Standard that has been kept with the 2020 coming from the 95 is that Old Testament quotations in the New Testament are in lowercase capital letters. So you'll see that throughout, as well as supplied words being in italics. So they did keep most of basically all of the features of the 95. They just updated the text. This Bible has a topical index of the Old and New Testaments. This is a little bit different than your average concordance, which just has the word and some biblical references. This also has some explanation and description of the words in the text. So there's more information than your average concordance. And you can see here, under Judaism, it's basically a whole reference here. So you have a lot more information. Obviously, it's not comprehensive by any means, but it is a great study help for a Bible of this size, even because you're still in that only around 1.25 inches, so still personal size, but you have this extra study help, so that's nice. The introductions to the books of the Bible, I'd kind of prefer if they were with the books, but they at least included them, so happy for that. They have those in the back, which are about a paragraph, short paragraph over each book of the Bible, just giving the pertinent information about author and setting. The other few helps in here are a read through the Bible in a year plan, the parables of Jesus, as well as the miracles of Jesus. And then you have your Lockman maps. I'm not familiar with Lockman maps compared to some of the other publishers, but these ones I really enjoy these actually. They're simple, but they're not cheap looking by any means, because obviously some Bible maps are just not designed well with the colors and all, but these ones are good. I like them. So you have 8 of those. Then you have the end, which goes to another piece of cardstock. All right, first comparison. This one is an actual thin line Bible. This is the New King James Deluxe thin line reference. This one's kind of special because it does have references, but you have your traditional thin line layout. But this gives you, quickly show them together, it gives you kind of an idea of why I think this is like a thin line. The text is obviously larger here, and this one is justified. But overall, you can just see how the layout is very similar, and size-wise are also very similar, at least in footprint. You can tell this is a true thin line, less than an inch thick. This one is 1.25 inches. But as far as height and width, they are exactly the same. So when I say thin line / personal size Bible, that's what I'm referring to. Okay, this one, you might be wondering, why in the world am I comparing this to a Schuyler Bible, if you know what this is. But this is something I noticed right away when I opened this that caught my attention, and I really made a connection here that I really enjoyed. So people who know Schuyler know that they have their quintel line, which is this one here, and then the personal size quintel line, which is a smaller version. And many people complain that there's no mid-size Bible. And when I opened that's what I thought of. And so I don't know if this is a legitimate comparison, but I'll let you be the judge of that. So here's your layout on these. The major difference being that this one is not justified, and I've seen a few reviews where people complain about that feature. That doesn't bother me at all. So I just made the comparison of layout in general and size. So this is an 11-point font. This is a 9.5. 2-column references at the bottom, textual footnotes under the columns. I just made the connection that these are very similar. And so that made me enjoy this Bible that much more, because I love the quintel layout. And this one is that personal thin line size. So it's smaller, obviously, than the full-size quintel. And this is typical size of most large print Bibles. But the thickness is about the same, and the layout is very similar. So I don't know if that was a good comparison or not, as far as, do you think those are comparable Bibles as far as layout and design go? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So there you have the NASB Reference Bible 2020 edition from the Lockman Foundation. Definitely a Bible that I really like. The layout is just clean, well designed. It's the personal thin line size, which is very conducive for everyday carry, general reference, reading, a lot of different things. So if you're looking for a Bible like this is definitely one to check out. If you are unfamiliar with the 2020, it is a good translation that I am increasingly getting used to. So definitely looking forward to other editions that they're coming out with in the 2020 line. So hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.